there can be only one answer to this one. You know it. I know it. Tosin knows it. Even Mikel Arteta knows it. Because there's no way. If you tell Arteta now, put your life savings on Arsenal straight win. He cannot do it. Tell Arteta to open Bayern Munich and carry Arsenal to qualify. They did not burn him well.
Draws for the quarterfinals of the UEFA Champions League have now been made, and Arsenal will be taking on Bundesliga champions Bayern Munich. But which team would have the upper hand in these quarterfinals and eventually progress to the semi-finals of this season's UEFA Champions League? I am Judechi Chidiezi, and this is CrossFire, brought to you by Bet Bonanza. All right, Tunde, let's talk about the Champions League, Arsenal and Bayern Munich. It's the quarterfinal stage. Arsenal have not been in this stage of a European competition in a very long time. Who are you rooting for? 14 years, obviously. Who are you rooting for this one?
I'm an objective, I'm a neutral party. Let's put it that way. I don't have to root for anybody. nature will take its course. the prey and the predator know themselves. If you are feeling insecure as an Arsenal fan, because I had already spoken, I've given my position on daily takes. And a lot of you were in your feelings. I understand. So it's the Arsenal way, unaccustomed to success, used to failure for quite a long time. First quarter final in 14 years. I get it. You are new here. But in high pressure situations, you don't rise to the occasion. You sink to the level of your training. And regardless of how good Arsenal are playing right now, the simple truth is that they've not been here before. No, I'm not even talking of like in their history. I'm talking like their current set of players. Saka does not know what to do in a high stakes quarterfinal game because he has simply never played it before. It is just a simple truth. Martinelli was in secondary school in Brazil or even primary school. Last time Arsenal played the Champions League quarterfinal. This is first Champions League quarterfinal. These are Arsenal's key players. Declan Rice's height of European football experience is playing in the third tier of Europe, in the Conference League, going to Jerusalem and Bethlehem and all those other places that nobody wants to go on a Thursday night. So like, none of the good form matters. Do Arsenal have good players? Yes. They have a good team. Are they playing better than Bayern this season? Yes. Would all of that matter on the Champions League nights? I assure you it will not. I guarantee you it will not. And take it from me, it's been a nice run. I mean, they beat who did they beat in group stage? PSV, Lens, and I think it was Sevilla. Was it Sevilla? I think it was Sevilla. A very Europa League group. They struggled to beat Porto on penalty shootouts. I don't know what about this resume makes you feel that Bayern Munich is there for the taking, and it's Thomas Tuchel I blame for this. But let's see. We'll see. Wow. At the end of the day, we'll see who was right. We'll see.
So let me come to you. Do you think the fairy tale run for Arsenal is over? Just as simple as that. Do you think it's over?
I don't think it is over. So let's look at it from two different perspectives. We all know Tunde is a Chelsea fan.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to raise that.
Tunde is a Chelsea fan, and obviously,
it might just be beef.
The number one thing that Chelsea fans actually lord over Arsenal fans is that they are the only London team to win the Champions League. That is crystal clear, and that is a record.
And they do not want any other person to go and win it.
When you look at it, I'm a Barcelona fan. I have disciplined Arsenal time and time. Beat them in the 2006 Champions League final, beat them in the 2009 quarter-final, 2010, even their last quarter-final, it was still Barcelona that knocked down. So Arsenal, I don't have no Barcelona fan has any hate for any Arsenal fan. So I'm categorically objective. So objectively looking at this time, you can't say the Arsenal Arsenal did not make the quarter-final throughout the Goodluck Jonathan to Buhari 8 years tenure.
Arsenal players don't even know who these people are, possibly.
But now we are in the Tinubu era.
Oh my God.
So we now need to contextualize that.
If you look at football.
We need Arsenal are Premier League title contenders. Do you know how difficult that is for me to say? I never in my life thought I would say that. They've been contending for the Premier League. They contended last year, they lost, and they are in the mix also this year. And that shows that this is a quality team. This is a quality team. You can argue that aside Manchester City, Arsenal is the second best team in England, at least over the last 2 seasons. The last time I remember, in 2010, when we played Arsenal at the Camp Nou, I remember their starting 11. I remember it. I remember Lord Bentner, a pathetic striker. I remember they had Diaby in midfield. I remember they had Clichy and obviously Sanya decent. They had Sylvester in defense. He was doing 1-2 with Messi. I remember we watched the game. I remember it. So it's not so. When you look at the quality in this new Arsenal team, you look at Declan Rice. No disrespect to anybody, Declan Rice is a top 5 defensive midfielder in the world right now. In his position, that's defensive central midfielder. Is a top 5 player. When you look at Martin Odegaard, he's a top 3 player in his position. No disrespect to anybody. In his position, he's top 3. When you look at Bukayo Saka, in his position on the left wing, on the right wing, he's top 3 in his position. So they have some of the best players in the world. Going against Bayern Munich, they have enough. This is people are making this as if yes, Bayern Munich have been a nemesis to Arsenal, beating them 5-1. We know that's the history. I'm a historian of the game, so you can't tell me about it. I know the history, but I'm saying that this is a new day. This is a different Arsenal team. This is a 50-50 time. I'm leaning towards Arsenal because I feel Arsenal, obviously, especially people like this that keep saying that the Premier League is the best league in the world. And Arsenal
I've never said
and Arsenal is the second best team in the Premier League. So I feel it's a 50-50 chance, and I'm tipping Arsenal. It's going to be close. Arsenal to go. Not this infinitesimal chance that you are giving Arsenal.
Let's talk about 50-50 today. Arsenal and Bayern Munich. Arsenal have not been in the stage of a European competition for a very long time. Considering the quality of that side right now, do you think it's come on, Tunde, behave yourself. But do you think Arsenal are capable?
You are laughing for a reason. It's because you know the answer to the question you're asking me.
It's a question. There can be 2 answers to every question. Come on.
What was your result in school? You said there can be 2 answers. How many times did you write jam? There's only one answer to this particular.
It can be black or white, but
don't worry. Discuss it with your lecturers. There can be only one answer to this one. You know it. I know it. Tosin knows it. Even Mikel Arteta knows it. Because there's no way. If you tell Arteta now, put your life savings on Arsenal straight win. He cannot do it. Tell Arteta to open Bayern and carry Arsenal to qualify. They did not burn him well. Because he knows in his heart of hearts that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you play well in the league or not. Yes, Arsenal are playing well. They are playing better than Bayern this season. They are a better team than Bayern this season on paper. But this is the Champions League. In high pressure situations, you don't rise to the occasion, you sink to the level of your training. Have you done this before? Have you been here before? Do you have experience in these bright lights? When you are faced with a tight game in a knockout round against a European power that has won this 6 times, and have been to the quarterfinals, that have been to the final more than Arsenal have even been to the quarterfinals. That is a literal fact. Go and look that up. I did not make that up because I know that Arsenal fans, you don't used to calm down. I said I gave my picture already on Daily Take, so you already know what it is. And I've seen believe me, I see, I enjoy, I consume your tears in the comment section on a daily basis. I wake up like Arsenal fans crying today. What do they have for me today? That's what I do. So as soon as I consumed your tears, you will be back here after the first leg and after the second leg. Remember what happened the last time? It was 5-1. Arsenal needed 4. Arsenal scored 1 goal away from home. I say, okay, we can just win 4-0 and qualify. They lost 5-1 again. 10-2 other gigates. I'm not saying to be 10-2 because the Arsenal team is clearly better now and it's going to be a tight game. But objectively, from what we saw against Porto, what about the performance against Porto makes you feel like Arsenal can beat Bayern? Like, can we stop this thing? Everybody's asking that we did not all watch the Porto game. The entire second leg, 120 minutes of football, Arsenal had 0.92 XG. In totality of 120 minutes of football. How many chances did they create? In the first leg, they didn't even have a shot on target. If you can choke that hard against Porto and need penalty shootout to advance, my dear, Bayern is not your problem. Just focus on the league. That's what I'll tell you. The only way to avoid disappointments is to lower your expectations. But if you go into the Bayern game thinking that this is how you play the Aston Villa, how you play the Brighton, you play, you stay with quality comes through. You need a bit more than quality. You need pedigree. There's a reason Inter Milan are out and Atletico Madrid are through. Think about that as not fans.
All right, Tosin. Tunde said Arsenal did choke in the round of 16 against Porto. That's in the normal regulation time and extra time. But do you see that Arsenal team that perhaps struggled in Tunde's books in the round of 16, struggle again against Bayern Munich in the quarterfinals?
Arsenal choked. Tunde does not even have basic understanding of English, so I'm not even going to address that. I'm not going to address that. Let's go into the Arsenal versus Bayern Munich game.
All right.
The only person that can actually look at it from an objective perspective and from a historical perspective also, because I'm a historian of the game, is me. You understand? So let's start with the fact that Tunde is a Chelsea fan. And we know the hatred and the disdain. This is another word. Put it in your dictionary. That Chelsea fans have for Arsenal fans. The London rivalry.
Yeah.
I'm a Barcelona fan, obviously. And we know the history between Barcelona and Arsenal. They got to the Champions League final in 2006. We taught them a lesson. 2009, they got to the round of 16. Obviously, we taught them a lesson. The quarterfinals in 2010, also we taught them.
It's not Barcelona.
Yeah. I need to bring historical context. You understand? You can't just open your mouth and start pouring out vomit. You understand? You need to contextualize things.
You understand? Now are playing bad.
But when I'm talking,
Now are playing bad.
When I'm talking,
let's focus on that.
I make the point of the show.
Barcelona.
Don't argue with me. I argue with him. Don't argue with me. I argue with him.
But Arsenal, Bayern Munich, how do you see that one?
I need to create context.
Alright.
So that's the context. And the context is that as a Barcelona fan, I do not have any skin in this fight. That is the point I was driving at. So looking at it objectively, this is a 50-50 game. We are looking at arguably the second best team in Germany, in Bayern Munich, given their league standing this year, and an Arsenal team, top of the Premier League, but obviously people say they are behind Manchester City in terms of the best team in the Premier League. Now, you look at the history of Arsenal. Arsenal have not gotten to this stage since obviously the good luck Jonathan tenure to the 8 years of Mohamed Buhari.
Arsenal players know this guy.
And this is a historical. See,
All right.
I'm talking when I'm telling you about the history of stuff. Don't start. You don't know anything like compared to me, but just leave that. I'm telling you about the history of stuff. From the Jonathan tenure to 8 years of Mohamed Buhari, Arsenal have not progressed to this stage. Now we are in a new dispensation, which is the Emilio Con dispensation.
Not the King Charles era.
No, the Emilio Con dispensation. All things have passed away, new things have come to stay.
Guys, Tosin is stressing me on this
And
show.
Arsenal, with this new regime, with this new category of players, they have the quality to go man-o-man against the best teams in the world. Not to now talk of a Bayern Munich that have been struggling this season. Arsenal have the capacity to go toe-to-toe with Bayern Munich. This is a 50-50 fight, and I see Arsenal going through.
To me. Okay, you said Bayern Munich would be going through ahead of Arsenal. Who do you actually think would be the standout player for Bayern Munich in the quarterfinal against Arsenal?
All right, first of all, if I give you the player, let me correct one thing. I did not predict that Bayern Munich will beat Arsenal. That is not a prediction. It's like, can I predict that the sun will rise tomorrow morning? It is a literal fact, whether I like it or not. Whether I'm a fan of the sun or I'm a fan of the moon, it does not matter which of the elements I support. The sun will rise in the morning and to set in the evening. It is a literal fact. You can look. I'm not mincing words. I'm saying it now. It is a literal fact that Arsenal have a better chance of winning the Formula One championship than beating Bayern Munich. So that we have gotten that clear. It's not my prediction. It is not how I feel about Arsenal. It's not because I'm a Chelsea fan. I'm not even talking about Chelsea is not even relevant in this competition. I'm just talking as an objective person that sees Arsenal and Bayern Munich. You don't pick Arsenal and leave Bayern Munich. That's the simple truth. But moving on from that, which Bayern players will do the business? I mean, there's elephant in the room. And let's just start there. I mean, there's Harry Kane. Harry Kane, who has already scored 31 goals this season. Do I need to bring out the stats of Arsenal's 50 million striker? Gabriel Jesus. Gabriel Jesus has 8 goals in March. At the end of March. Those are the people that you want to use to go and compete with Bayern Munich. Who is our top scorer? Look at what Harry Kane is doing this season. Then even if you know, okay, that was okay. Let us go beyond Harry Kane. Harry Kane always scores goals. He will score goals in the Champions League. He will score against Arsenal. In fact, he loves scoring against Arsenal. I think he's even the top scorer in the history of the North London derby. Before he left that pathetic club, Tottenham Hotspur, and came to Germany to chase a trophy with Bayern Munich. Even beyond just the centre forward, there are other quality players. Like look at Joshua Kimmich, one of the best midfielders in the world. I don't think anybody in the Arsenal midfield. I know lots of you are Premier League central, so in your head, it is not. Joshua Kimmich has been at this level for a long time. You like Goretzka, quality everywhere. Leroy Sané can hurt you. You've seen him in the Premier League and even for the German national team. So I don't need to tell you how good Bayern is. Bayern will show you over 2 legs how good they are. Then you will realize that there is a difference between fainting and dying.
Okay, Tosin, Tunde have called quite a number of names for Bayern Munich, but Do Arsenal have names that can step up to Bayern Munich?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do, which is why I see it as a 50-50 clash. And I see Arsenal going through in the end. I looked at this in the first section from a historical perspective. And we go back to 2010, we look at that Arsenal team. How do you expect that Arsenal team to beat Barcelona? That team with Bentner, with Sanya, with Sylvester, doing 1-2 with Messi. You understand? You can't expect that. When you look at this new Arsenal generation, Declan Rice is one of the best 5 midfielders in the world in that central defensive midfield position. Contextualize. You understand? You look at Martin Odegaard. When you look at the top 3 playmakers in the world, Martin Odegaard is one of them. I can tell you that for a fact. And you look at Bukayo Saka on that right wing. You can't name 3 players better than Bukayo Saka on that right wing in the world. You understand? When you talk about Joshua Kimmich, they are looking at a way that we can get Joshua Kimmich on loan from Bayern Munich. Goretzka. Is that one is he a player or a bodybuilder? We are talking about like this Arsenal team. This is the Arsenal team because last year people were saying they were unproven. This is a 2-year stretch of Arsenal being among the best team in the Premier League. So, in my own opinion, I see the quality even tilting more towards Arsenal side. William Saliba is one of the best defenders in the world. Fact. You understand? And you look at Ben White, another solid defender, shunted to the right because of the strength of William Saliba and Gabriel in the middle of defense. So I see this Arsenal team actually having a little bit more quality than Bayern Munich. And that is how they will get the job done, especially with Rice and Odegaard in the middle, dominating possession and being able to pick out those passes. They progress to the semi-final.
Let me bring a conversation to you guys, Arsenal and Bayern Munich in the quarterfinals of the UEFA Champions League. Who do you see winning the first leg and the second leg, and who do you see eventually making it to that semi-finals? Do you think Arsenal can actually stand up to the Bavarians, or do you think this is the end of the road for the Gunners? This has been CrossFire, brought to you by Bet Bonanza. High odds, fast payout.